We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Achane, Miami Dolphins running back. Finally got to see him back in full action. We haven't seen this in weeks, and I actually really liked his performance from Achane. It took him a while to get going, and you're not going to have every game where you're just hitting big play after big play, so it's nice to see him get a lot of touches, especially late in the game. They're trying to get him going clearly, and you could see that he wasn't even 100% like full explosiveness yet, and he was still being effective out there. He just kind of changes the dynamic of the offense every time he's out there. They have big plays. You can see they had some focus on him, and this was like the first play I really looked like, Achane was back. Getting him the ball out in the flat, you could tell he was a big part of the passing game, and the contact balance. He plays way bigger than his size. I loved how he looked running the ball with his vision and all of that. And he's just so slippery as well. Very tough to tackle out in space, more than just speed. And that athleticism right there, that body control and balance to then bounce back up and then just wiggle through, get it elusive, fall forward for some yards. It's just very, very impressive. And I like seeing this type of performance, where you get a decent amount of touches, like you got, around 20, and put about 100 total yards too, which is good work for Achane. And it came like clearly they were like, hey, we're going to give you the ball late in the fourth. I want to see him become more of a focal part of the game plan early on too. And they used him very well in the passing game. Big plays. They allowed him to run some routes down the field. Didn't get really targeted, but it was looked pretty natural for him. They really like to use Achane on the jet sweeps. They got this going to him early on. This is a good play. It only gains like 3 yards, but it's nice to see, this guy wins his rep here. He reads it too. He sees the motion across. This guy shoots downhill, knows this is coming, so he can beat the block from the wide receiver. And to just, boom, quick stiff arm, make this guy miss, and instantly get vertical. Like, he instantly gets square back to the line of scrimmage to get downhill, pick up 3 yards. That's a good play where you could possibly lose like 5-6 yards on the play, and to turn it into a 3-yard gain, you take that all day. And this is how you spread a defense horizontally anyways, which I think opened up the running game downhill a lot later on, and they were able to just get physical, nasty. I think this O-line has a nasty streak to them that they don't get to showcase a bunch just due to the play style of the offense, but I think it's going to be a big part of this downhill stretch, and just really, solid work, grinding out yards from Achane, sticking with it, wasn't hitting the big ones, and just kept making still solid plays. Another example of using Achane on the jet sweeps, like getting him involved like this, especially early on, and then, allowing him to do some different things. And you can just see some of the explosiveness here, getting the ball, and the defense gets super horizontal. Like, I imagine what you can build off of this. Like, look how far this defense is flowing to the outside, and once he sticks his foot in the ground right there, look how the burst just off that one step to get vertical is so fast. Pick up, a nice 7-ish yards on the first down attempt. These are plays that you'll definitely take. And they actually, Washington doesn't even play it that bad, but they block it up decent out here for the Dolphins players. And that step right there, he explodes out of that step. It's very, very impressive. And I can't wait to see him back to full speed, because I feel like he's not even quite there yet. He's close, and we're going to see some big, big plays from him soon. Just want to show this play real quick, just to see him working vertically, because he was open for a touchdown on that first Tyreek Hill touchdown. I think this guy is confused on the coverage, but he tries to get like a press on Achane on the outside, and he just makes a miss. I feel like you could see Achane possibly getting some work one-on-one with linebackers to the outside, because he was definitely wide open, and he's going to be I think have some big plays down the field, because most of his passing game work has come down into the flat and stuff like that. But you could see they were using him more in routes throughout this game. And it just wasn't, there was some opportunity there, but the ball was going out to different guys at those times. And I think that those opportunities, those targets will come. Now we're going to start getting into the running game. What really impressed me with is in this game, we've seen him on his tosses, the outside zone, how he can just hit a hole and explode and get these huge plays. But I really liked how he looked on some of these inside runs, the vision, making guys miss in tight spaces, working off of blocks really well. They didn't even have to be the biggest runs, but this is the stuff you want to see from your running back, because this is the stuff that most running backs are going to have on a play-to-play basis, like the most common type of plays. And this is the stuff you really want to see, because we know he has that big playability. But just getting the touchdowns, he's actually a pretty good red zone runner, getting these touchdowns, because he plays tougher and bigger than he is. He's tough to get down. But look at him press up into these blocks. You can see him feel the flow of this play. Boom, footwork, but doesn't just immediately shoot back to the outside. He stays tight here to get around his block, and then get around here, boom, jump off some tackles. He's not even going down. He's able to bend around this. Look at this scenario he's in right here. Usually that should be a tackle, no gain, and he's able to stay on his feet, get in the end zone. Doesn't even get taken down at the end. That's really, really good work, weaving through traffic, the vision of it all, the footwork, getting skinny. like reducing his surface area with his shoulders and stuff. That's just great work for that touchdown there by Achane. But they did still get him going in some regular toss plays. He picked up a few chunk 7 and 8 yard plays. I just like the versatility that he can kind of give you now as a runner, because I feel like he can do it all. But this is where he's going to, get a lot of his work on this type of stuff, the jet sweeps, the tosses. He clearly gets there. It gets blocked up much better. He had like a 7-yard loss on his first play, and there was like nothing for him to do. Didn't even show because it was a pointless play. Like the guy was hitting him as he caught the ball. But here you can just see him, quickly recognize this guy shooting upfield, get down instantly, and just the burst to get there. And I love the fighting too. Like he hits this guy gets a clean hit on him, and he's able to stay on his feet. Another guy bounces into him. He's fighting for extra yards. Love to see that out of smaller backs. Love the physicality to his game. Another nice little 7-yard gain on a toss play here from Achane. This is the stuff you want to see. They did that, this new concept that they're doing. And the reason I wanted to show this is just that pure speed to the outside. I feel like if this is another running back on the team, like look, with the motion, 57's right here. He keys it instantly. He recognizes the play and just shoots downhill. They don't really get any hands on him. They're both trying to block him. They might, I think Keon Smith might get a little bit of a tap onto him. But in most situations, like 95% of the running backs in the league are going to get tackled on this play or at least slowed down. But Achane's so fast to the outside that linebacker isn't able to get there, and he picks up 7 yards. And he really started just grinding out yards late in this fourth quarter. They, started bringing the backups in. Mike White, like to see him just working on some of this inside stuff, get downhill, pick up 6 yards. They're working like some zone counter type stuff here. Press up into your blocks. He does a good job of staying square here. Good footwork. He presses up, makes these guys commit to their gap here. It freezes linebackers, and then press and then get downhill immediately. So this is like good patience, good vision, good setting up your blocks, and then get downhill, not getting like too horizontal, just get vertical after it. I feel like he's a good decision maker as a running back. This stuff is important, and he really grinded out this fourth quarter to close out the game. Doing some lead stuff in this game they did with Angle. This time I think it's Tanner Connor who they elevated, who actually has been a decent backup fullback, and he just does another good job pressing and getting these guys to commit down. Look how he's able to, because this is an outside zone type of play with its aiming point far to the outside, and look at him press up on his like lead blocks here, which gets these guys to commit down and slow and not commit to the outside right away. And now that he's pressed up into these blocks, he's able to bounce it to the outside and pick up some extra yards. If he just immediately goes to the outside, those linebackers commit there. There's a couple different things he can do. He could press the outside, then cut it back in. But I do like that he shows a little bit of savvy and nuance as a runner. Really love this run for Achane. This time a toss play with the lead blocker, and this is just good job getting skinny. Like making guys miss in tight spaces, because he gets out here in space because he has a one-on-one with a corner and just cuts this back to the inside. And now with all these people flowing here, look how low he stays to the ground. He like runs into Connor Williams here, and he's able to, like right here, most guys are probably going to pick up like an extra yard from this situation, and he accelerates out of that and falls forward for an extra 3 or 4 yards. That stuff is really, really important, and I think goes kind of unnoticed at times. But that's really, really nice run, though. Look how he's able to change directions, bend this back. See the ankle flexion, get down, and then get back on your path, get vertical, and pick up 7 yards on a 2nd and 8, which is huge. Then he had his longest run of the game, just getting down the middle. Like to see him working off these blocks, hitting more of an A gap, B gap style of run instead of, always getting to the outside. You can see him press and just look at him read the linebacker. He's just reading the linebackers here. And he gets up, presses up into this block. Once he sees 47 and 57 both commit downhill because they see this space open up, he gives a little bit of a cut there, press up into 94, and now boom, get horizontal or get vertical instantly, and he just explodes through that hole. He breaks the arm tackle because he's able to reduce his surface area because he dips that shoulder out. He has a great feel as a runner, and then you get him out in space. Probably should have cut to the right there, but also just picking up a big conversion, 15 yards. You can see that some of that explosiveness is still there, and can't wait until he gets to really showcase his skill set again as the season progresses. This is another good example of him sort of pressing to get these guys to commit and then bouncing it to the outside. He does a great job with this. Would have liked to see him maybe make that corner miss in space. That corner actually did a really good job tackling there. But the first part of this play is super impressive. patience as a runner. This is important. A lot of guys will try to just get to the outside right away, but if he does that, 52 is going to scrape over the top and take that away, and he feels this space. This is savvy, nuanced run. Press up long enough, which gets 52 to commit down here, and he sees that his right tackle has captured this edge, this forced defender, and now he bounces it to the outside. He has all this speed, and it picks up 5 yards. Usually he makes this guy miss, kind of gets, caught up there, but you can see the potential that he has. I'm not worried about him making as miss in space. He's done it a bunch this year, time and time again in big plays, but the initial part of the play is very, very promising. Last play that we're going to break down here for Achane. Nothing really to break down. Just wanted to talk about Achane. It was just his final touchdown. He pretty much walks into the end zone, perfectly blocked, getting him the ball out on these toss plays. We saw him score earlier on some inside zone type stuff. Now getting him on some crack toss down in the end zone. All the different ways that he can score. And he's just a weapon for this team. And every game he's played, it's like the 4 games, the Dolphins have put up ridiculous numbers. If you look at the average of it all, obviously the Broncos game helps that out a lot, but you got to count it. And they've just been great when he's in the game. He adds just another element to this team, and he's very, very exciting to watch. And then you have players like Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tua executing at a super high level. It makes this offense very fun to watch, very dangerous. And then the defense is playing at an all-time, high right now for the past few weeks. It's one of the best Dolphins team, definitely the best Dolphins team I've seen in my lifetime. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.